But anyway, let's get down to business. JD wanted to talk about Rand Paul and the audacity of talking to black people.
Yeah, yeah. It is absolutely amazing. So Rand Paul. I mean, it's for anybody who's actually been watching the Refinery. It's not a surprise that I'm a big fan of Rand Paul. A supporter, I should say, a big supporter of Rand Paul. Um, I think that he's doing a lot of what we really need to do to grow the party, to win elections, and he goes out and he helps out conservative candidates all across the country, and does a great job. One of the reasons why I'm such a big supporter is because last year he came out and helped Steve Lonigan here in New Jersey try and combat Cory Booker in the special election. And I think that some of the seeds that he planted there last year are helping out now. You can see some interesting poll results saying that Cory isn't doing quite as well as he was projected to do. But one of the things that I think Rand does better than most of our candidates, most of our representatives, not just in D.C. but as a party, is communicate to non-traditionally Republican voters. Recently he's gone to Silicon Valley to talk to a bunch of the techies over there and try and win some of their support. They've got a lot of money, very deep pockets, and are instrumental in shaping the culture really going forward with Facebook and Twitter and all of these things. But he's also gone to traditionally black colleges. He's gone to communities that are left out to dry in a lot of ways. And last week he went to he went to the National Urban League's meeting in Cincinnati, and this appearance, which the speech is amazing. He speaks for around 20 minutes and talks about a lot of different things. Inspired Stephanie Rawlings Blake, the mayor of Baltimore and secretary of the Democratic National Committee, to come out and write a response saying blacks shouldn't be fooled by Rand Paul. And I think that that's really telling.
Sorry, I had mute on. I was really going to jump in there.
You said brilliant things, right? It was
yeah, totally. As always. God. But no, seriously, the very fact that he makes these sort of reactions happen, and people can look for themselves and read the transcript or watch the 20 minutes of what he said, and then read this rebuttal and response and get two completely different things, and especially the people that were there that are reading this later. What an interesting picture that other people are getting completely different messages out of what he said. There were quite a few applause lines in his speech that people responded positively to. There was no one standing up on their feet and cheering, but they were very, very receptive to some of the things that he was saying. And there's just this criticism, this backlash coming. How dare he? I think the major criticism of it was that a person can be a minority by their ideology instead of just their skin color or, say, sexual orientation or whatever, that they can be a minority based on their ideology. And I would argue that is, of course, the most important minority to be protected. But that was the sort of thing that ruffled feathers. How dare he attempt to compare, a condition one's born with one's beliefs. It was bizarre to see the criticism. But good for him to stir up, liberal ire. I think it's lovely.
And I think it's a really good thing that he is doing this. He's just going and showing up, and he knows that he's going to take a hit for this stuff. And maybe in large part that's step one, is that we get Republican candidates and Republican voices to show up to the Black community and to the Hispanic community and the Asian community, and take those hits and be kind of the vanguard of, yes, you can go to the meeting, you can be physically, I mean, not physically, verbally berated for it, but you live through it. And, that gets us through the first step. And then maybe the next wave of guys that show up and talk at these things, maybe they actually are listened to a little bit. And then maybe after that, I think it's a gradual step-by-step thing. And I'm glad that Rand Paul is doing the early stuff now when we're more than 2 years out from, really a presidential politics. Um, and maybe he's kind of like drawing fire in the early days of getting them to accuse him of being racist for showing up, and he's racist for not showing up, and you're bad when you ignore us, and you're bad when you come talk to us, and to kind of expose that. I mean, I don't understand. I don't know if that's what he's doing, but it's kind of working out that way.
Well, the neat thing was that he didn't say anything in this speech that I hadn't heard him say to other audiences, white or not. There was nothing new here. This was not a tailored for the Urban League speech. This is his speech. This is the thing he talks about. These are the items he hits when he makes speeches. So I was pleased to see that, because so often we're accused in the conservative movement of wanting to water down the message or change it when we go to different communities. That's not what he's doing. You can find YouTube after YouTube where he's saying the same things to different audiences. And if we talk about our politicians not being, playing one side one way and one side another, and attempting to stir up this group and then use that language with that group, that's not this guy. And that makes me very, very impressed. I really like that. And it does sort of eliminate some of that criticism that people have of, well, they're just saying that because they're in front of that audience. That's not what's happening.
It's one thing I appreciate about Rand Paul is he is a good communicator, and he communicates what he wants to, and he doesn't give off any sense that he's worried about what people think about him, because he's assured in what he's doing is the right thing.
Yeah, and it also helps that he's got a really good message that applies to everyone. It's a very wide base of appeal that he generates with what he has to say. Freedom, in fact, should be easy to sell, and I think he does a very good job of making it look easy to sell.